What would you do, Eddie, with Jaylen Brown?
Well, people talking about trading, right? So trading for what? Like, what do you get? What's the value? What do you get back for Jaylen Brown, right? At the same time, you done got to the Eastern Conference Finals with him 5 times, right? Very young player, 26 years old, okay? My thing would be, well, yeah, if I am Brad Stevens, I'll pick up the phone and listen. And if it's something that moves me, that I feel like definitely puts us over the top, then yeah, that's something that I probably would entertain. But for the most part, I think that it's unfair. Let me say this. I think it's unfair for Jaylen Brown to constantly be getting the brunt of everything and always in trade talks, because Jason Tatum hasn't played fantastic either. He's had ups and downs, just like Jaylen's had ups and downs. But for whatever reason, we seem to always single out Jaylen and say, well, look at Jaylen. He needs to get traded. I think it's because how talented Jason Tatum is. Jaylen Brown's not that far away.
We didn't come out of the finals last year talking about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and blaming Jaylen Brown. We came out blaming Jason Tatum. And I do think that the gap between them, despite your experience in the league and time as an analyst, I think is massive. I think that Jaylen Brown, and I've said this for 3 years, is extremely overrated. He's a brilliant one-on-one scorer. He's an incredible mid-range shooter. They told him 3 years ago, stop taking mid-range shots, which was stupid.
Bad coaching.
He's an inattentive defender. He's not a great decision maker. He can be a creative passer, but his clumsiness, awkwardness, inability to handle in traffic is endemic. That's who he is. He's not going to magically become this balletic player who can really handle in traffic. He's high character. He cares about basketball. He trains like a mother scratcher. He wants to be really good. So all of those things argue in favor of him, but he's not one of the best players in the NBA. And just because 50 writers named him all NBA, the Celtics are now pinched. It's propaganda that he is a top 15 player. He's top 25. Look at every analytic. He is a mid-range 25 to 35 guy. And the Celtics are pinched.
I guess my biggest thing, Chris, with him is, does he make, do him and Jason Tatum, do they make each other better? Like, we look at what's happening right now in Denver with Jamal Murray and Jokic.
Yeah, but it's easier to look at a pick and roll combo and be like, oh, they make each other better because they run a million actions with each other. The Celtics do certainly need to tap into that more, and I'd love to see Jaylen and Jason run more pick and rolls for each other and find ways to make each other better and use the attention one draws to accentuate the other, and they certainly haven't tapped into the full potential there. But it is more difficult when it's 2 wing players and you're trying to space the floor or whatever the case may be. I do think, in general, their presence have made each other better, that we're well past the era of can they succeed together. The question becomes, like, can they win a championship together and be that great? I will say this, though, because I've heard, obviously today the overreaction in general is got to trade them, got to move on. 1, I think it's reactionary. And 2, I think they didn't want to trade him for Kevin Durant like 8 months ago. So go ahead and find me the trade that you think.
But here's the thing. I'm fine. Don't trade him for Kevin Durant because he's old and breaks down, and he did it again. But can you find, I think when we look at Jaylen Brown.
Give me an example.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold that thought, because we have some examples here. Hold on. We do have some examples from a couple of different people. First, the stadiums. Jeff Goodman tweeting, Celtics are in a tough spot with Jaylen Brown. Certainly not worth the supermax money, but who is trading for him now and rolling dice with 1 year left on his deal? I've long said Brad Beal fits better with Tatum on and off the court, but now there are injury concerns. Goodman adds, I think you do something for Damian Lillard if you are Brad Stevens. The age worries me, but you probably have 2 to 3 year window where he is still one of the best in the league. Ringers Kevin O'Connor also loves the Lillard idea, listing him as his top trade option for Jaylen. Other possibilities from Kevin O'Connor include to the Blazers for Anthony Simons and the number 3 pick, to the Rockets for the number 4 pick, to the Hornets for LaMelo Ball, and to the Wizards for Bradley Beal. Do any of those entice you, Eddie House?
No, this dude right here, Kevin O'Connor, no disrespect, but I mean, you're crazy. To give away Jaylen Brown, an all-NBA player, proven for a number 4 pick that you don't know is going to pan out or not pan out, right? So I'm taking the guy that's there. Now, as far as to your point of he doesn't handle the basketball that well, I think that's where coaching is involved, to where, all right, where do you like to get the ball at? How comfortable are you in these spots? And let me devise a way to manufacture you to get the ball there. How do I get Tatum on the post? What do I have to do? Not just that horns action that we run where he goes across or one screen, we catch it, and then it's ISO loaded up against it. It has to be some misdirection, some pin down, some back screens to free up the guy that's guarding you. So now he's reacting. I get the ball. Now I can make you react as opposed to, and everybody else is moving, as opposed to me catching the ball. And just how y'all looking at me right now, that's what the defense is doing to them one-on-one. And it's tough.
I wrote a column today mentioning that, both Tatum and Brown usually need about 11 dribbles to extract themselves and get to what they're getting to. And eventually, sometimes that's a step back three or a hoist. When you look at, for instance, this team was supposed to be modeled after the Warriors. They wanted 5 wings. Jaylen was one, and obviously Jason Tatum was one. But those guys move. There were 11 dribbles taken by Klay Thompson in a 60-point game. These guys take 11 dribbles to break somebody down. But they don't move.
But listen.
So that's your point. Move.
If somebody's trying to construct a team after the Warriors, then that's where you failed already. Like, you're not going to have Steph or Klay, those two great shooters,
you can do the model.
And you're not going to have. You can't do the model if you don't have the pieces. I don't care. You could have some pieces and try to get a model and make a model Corvette, but you end up making a Chevette. Right? It's not the same piece. If the pieces don't fit and don't come out right, you can't make it happen.
They have standstill players. Their best players are kind of standstill players, and they need somebody to make them better that moves them, I think.